I'm being joined live by my guest, Chuks Emeka. Chuks, if you can hear me, let me proceed. I was asking what are the key reasons behind the Nigerian government's decision to ban the exportation of liquefied petroleum gas?
Nigeria is not refining. And as far as we are not refining, it's invariably going to affect how the supply and distribution of gas is going to happen in the country. Now, why it is paramount that government shuts down exports is that the price of gas in this country is skyrocketing every day. And Nigeria has large quantity of deposits in billions of cubic meters of gas reserves. In a country of this nature, what should have been our primary focus, that is the reason why I said in one of the interviews I had, is that the Ministry of Gas is doing quite little or nothing in exploiting the potentials in the gas industry. I don't understand why that ministry was created, yet we are not seeing potentials. The issue of gas is not only in the sale of gas. It's actually in the usage. Gas can be used to be able to do a lot of things in this country. Gas can be used to be able to generate more components and generate also more jobs. But the problem we are having is that we have policymakers who don't understand this industry. That is why it is very pertinent at this time that the presidency should look into that sector and see ways how they can drive down the price of gas, and also create an enabling ground for investors to come, because we need investors in that sector so that we'll be able to have competitive ground that can drive the price of gas down. Domestic gas is very important now because Nigeria is trying to get to a point where we phase out the use of kerosene and other forms of cooking. So gas is the only point now, only distillate that can be used.
If I may just quickly chip in there, Chuks. I mean, you talk
heavily in that sector. There is need for the federal government to actually focus on that sector.
If I may, Chuks, you talked about the need for us to stop exportation of cooking gas, but I'm wondering, are there any measures to prevent the exportation of cooking gas? And do you think these measures align with the broader goal of repositioning Nigerian gas sector for optimal performance?
Yeah, to create an optimum performance in the gas sector, the federal government has to, I think, needs to bring in experts. I have to say with all honesty, one of the things missing in most of the ministries is that we don't have people who understand those ministries. It has to do with policy. It has to do with policy. If we have the right policy makers in these sectors, we will have the right results. Everything in these industries, in these sectors, has to do with input, process, and output. If we don't have the people who bring in the right policies, we won't have the right people who will process these policies and get all the right results. We need the right people in this sector to be able to, more especially in the oil and gas sector, we need the right people now. It's very pertinent because our scarce resources, the resources we are having, more especially in the crude area, is gradually depleting. So we need people who can manage the little resources we are having at the moment.
Okay, let's take
people who don't understand that sector at all. So that is why it is very paramount at this season to be able to get experts who can understand, who can help us generate opportunities in that sector. I think that's where the point is now as we speak, where we are lacking in leadership in these sectors. We are lacking leadership. That is the reason why we are having failures. Even the policy coming out from the government is not well implemented. So we need the right people. I spoke some time ago that there is no magic in distilling products. If you want to get the refineries to work, there is no magic in this thing. All we need is right policy makers. It's just because most of these people in this sector want to make money. There is greed that is driving them. That's the reason why we are not getting the results we need. If we have the right people, we will have the right results.
Let's
Even
talk
in the
about...
media, in your offices there, if we don't have the right people, we won't get the right results.
If I may, Chooks, if I may, let's talk about the statement by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, and that's Ekperikpe Ekpo. And then he talked about withdrawal of taxes and levies from the importation of gas-related equipment as an incentive. I know you talked about the need to attract foreign investors, but how do you think these incentives, would impact the gas industry?
The issue about foreign investors is it has to be with an enabling environment. If we don't have the enabling environment, I don't think foreign investors will come. If the environment is okay, now let me just give an instance. Even in the airline industry, a lot of people some airlines would have loved to come. But the challenge now we are having is that most of them cannot access the forex to be able to do the transactions they want to do in Nigeria. So it's a very, very difficult situation. Right? The federal government is trying to find a lot of loopholes to see how they can be able to cut the sabotage that is going on in the financial sector. It has to do with it in terms of forex assessment. But the government has to do much more than that. That's the truth. The government has to do much more than that. So that's the challenge the investors we have at this moment. It has to do with foreign exchange. If we don't have foreign exchange, there is no way we can be able to get results. We need to be able to create an enabling environment, and that enabling environment has to do with forex. That is the key component. Nigeria has the cheapest workforce anywhere in the world. We have the cheapest workforce. So the investors don't have problem with workforce. What they have problem is the forex issues. How will they bring in $200 million into this country? Can they take back their profits back and pay back their directors outside? These are the challenges that they are having. And that's the reason why we are having a low turnout in investors, more especially in oil and gas and other aspects of the economy. So I think that this issue has to do with the government, what the government wants to do in terms of, and these things is also affecting the citizens. Let me tell you, as I speak to them, most people cannot even buy gas. People are now considering using charcoal. Some want to go back to kerosene. Some are finding it very difficult because they can't afford this thing anymore. And it's a shame for a country like Nigeria not to be able to have availability of a raw material that is heavily resident in a country like ours.
And that's a fine place to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your time on the news. Chooks Emeka, oil and gas consultant, thank you once again.
Thank you so much.